Hi everyone, and thank you for joining. My name is Dulce Hernandez. I work as a product engineer at Nolte. Today I will be hosting the Lightning Talk, and the topic is Introduction to Gutenberg for React Developers. I will explain some things that you need to know before building your custom block. If you have never used Gutenberg, you can watch the first Lightning Talk in our YouTube channel on how you can build content with blocks. Gutenberg is the new editor for WordPress since version 5.0. It's a block-based editor. It was developed on GitHub using the WordPress REST API, JavaScript, and React. All in Gutenberg is a block. So what is a block? It's an abstract unit for organizing and composing content. We create content with one or more blocks for a web page. We have two types of blocks, static and dynamic. An static block contains rendered content and a set of attributes, which are used to re-render based on changes. These attributes could be a title, URL, background, and text color, and alignment. An example is the paragraph block. If you enable the code editor view, you will see that the paragraph is being rendered as HTML content. On the other hand, a dynamic block is the one that needs to update data without saving the post. So it won't render HTML content in the editor. As an example, we can review the latest post block. There is no HTML generated, only a block delimiter. The attributes are passed into the server-side rendering callback in a PHP function, so you can decide how to display the block on the front end of your website. For the latest post, they use the getPost function to get the post, and then the title and the permalink. So how is React being used in Gutenberg? React is a library for creating reusable components. Components are the atomic unit of React, and we build React apps with components. Gutenberg is created with React, so each block is composed of one or more components. Gutenberg adds an abstraction layer over React. If there is an update on React, WordPress can decide when to support these changes, provide compatibility or not. We find the abstraction layer in the element package. So instead of using React create element, we have WP element create element. React fragment will be WP element fragment, and so on with the rest of the components. The purpose of the abstraction layer is to hide the implementation of details, allowing separation of concerns and independency. I had some code snippets that I got from the element package. As you can see, they are importing all the functionality from the React library and then export these elements. On the package block, we find the register block type function. The first parameter is the name of the plugin and the block, and we have also a set of properties. Title is the name of the block, description about the block, category, how the block is organized with other blocks. The icon is the one that appears with the title. Here you can use the WordPress dash icons and just put the name of the icon you want to display, or you can also add your custom SVG. the attributes that are being changed in the editor, and the edit and save functions. In this diagram, we have a representation of the register block function. The edit function will receive attributes and it will render a React component. The same happens for the save function. But as I mentioned before, if it's dynamic, then we have to render the content in PHP. We use a lot the WPI18M package for translating into other languages. We need to import a double underscore from this package and use it when we have text. Here is an example we use it for the title and the description. The WP editor is for building blocks in the editor. And for example, we find the inspector controls that appears in the sidebar when a block is being edited. Inside, we can find generic UI components from the components package, like the panel body, the radio, text, toggle, and select controls. If you aren't a React developer, you might ask the following question. Do I need to know React to build Gutenberg blocks? Well, it depends. Yes, when you want to create a complex block, like dynamic, that gets data from an external API, or you want to access the Gutenberg data store that is implemented with Redux, or add many options for customization. If this is not the case and you don't have time, you don't have the knowledge, then you can try some alternatives, like building blocks with ACF, advanced custom fields, or use plugins. But it's not enough to be a React developer. You need to know some things of WordPress. So I will show you an example on how I build a custom block with React. I have my Lightning Blocks plugin. Inside the plugin PHP file, I set a category, register all the required JavaScript files for creating my block, the location, and the dependencies. In the editor file, we import our blocks folder. For this example, I only have the team member block. In the script file, we import the script that will call the styles. In the index file, I register the block by using the register block type function and pass the parameters, attributes, title, description, icon. This block is inside of a grip, so I set a parent, put some keywords to search the block, render the component in the save function, and for the edit function, I put a team member edit component. That is this. As you see, it's the same that we have in a normal React component. We have handlers to change the state. There is the inspector controls component, and inside some elements for displaying the settings. In the parent file, we have the configuration for the parent block, that is the grid container. And we have the files for the styling. If we go to our plugin settings, we can see our custom plugin block. I open a page and add the block. We go to the Lightning Blocks category and we find our block, that is the members. I have two columns by default for this grid. I can select an image from library or upload a new one. There are two input fields for the name and for adding some information. I can add a new column for adding a new block. As you can see, I only can add a team member block because I set this configuration in the register block parent. In the inspector controls, we can add an alternative text and choose the image size. These fields are from the rich text component, where I can format the text in bold or italic. I have the options for removing or to edit the image. We save the page and check that the block was rendered in the front end. So that will be all. We can continue with the questions. Okay, our first question is from Nelson. Is there a way to have something like a base code to create custom blocks quickly? Yes, there is a way. Some of you who have used React know the package create React app. That this package installs all that you need for setting a React app. There is a project similar for building custom blocks for Gutenberg that is create Gutenberg block. So this package installs all the dependencies, these files that I show you, the edit, the index file. So in this way you can build your custom block easily. Another question for Gerardo. How long for you as a React developer took to learn and master customized Gutenberg blocks? Well, it depends of the type of block. For building an static, it was kind of easy, but for building a dynamic block, it was challenging because I still don't know some things for WordPress. And also, there is a complex topic that is the Gutenberg Redux store. So, if you are not going to make use of this, then it won't take much time. But for your question, in specific, maybe for building an static block, it will take me like 3 hours. Question from Francisco: how do you style the block so that it looks the same in the front end as in the editor? Because you set a style sheet for the block that is being rendered in the editor, and also you have some styles that for in the front end. So if you are going to display the same styling, then you need to manage these two files and put in the plugin PHP file. So I don't know if you still have a question about this, or it was very clear. Another question from Gerardo: how much longer do you think it would take you to be considered an expert on customizing blocks? It depends of the practice. Maybe if you code like a month, it could be that you will be an expert for building custom blocks. Question from Oscar: the sidebar options to configure the block appearance are configurable through props or something like that? Yes. In the example for the grid, I set 2 default columns. So yes, if I change in the editor, like I want 3 columns or 4, these are passed in the edit function, so it will render a new grid with a third column. Yes, all of the options that you change in the editor will pass as props. A question from Beth: is the main benefit of building blocks in React over using tools like ACF that you have access to things like the Gutenberg Redux store? Are there other advantages? Apart from that you can customize a block with an external API. For example, I want to fetch data from Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. So if you don't find a plugin with these features, maybe you want to create a new one. Any more questions? If not, that will be all. And thank you for your time. See you next time.